Simon & Schuster Audio presents Once Upon a Time in Russia, The Rise of the Oligarchs, a true story of ambition, wealth, betrayal, and murder, by Ben Mezrich. Read by Jeremy Bobb.
Part 1. A good man, maybe, but it's best to shoot him. Old Russian proverb. Chapter 1. July 2000. Kuntsevadacha, Fili District. The silence was excruciating, the minutes ticking by thick and heavy, time itself gorging on the tension in the humid air. Even though the shades had been drawn back from the trio of windows pocking the long plaster walls of the cavernous dining room, it was impossible to tell how deep into the afternoon the day had drifted. The dense forest that surrounded the isolated two-story compound cast deep shadows across the reinforced glass panes, shifting whatever remained of the bright summer light toward an ominous gunmetal gray. For the 18 middle-aged men in dark suits shifting uncomfortably in their seats as they waited in that palpable silence around an oversized dining room table, it was hard to believe that they were still technically within Moscow's city limits. Though, to be fair, this aging stone house tucked in the middle of the dark woods, surrounded by a pair of chain-link fences topped by barbed wire, was a symbol of a much different Moscow than the rapidly growing metropolis beyond the wire. The men in this room had traveled back in time more than 50 years the minute they had been ushered out of their chauffeured limousines, now parked in glistening rows behind the double fences, and led through the dacha's front door. The setting of the meeting was not lost on any of the men. The invitation that had been delivered by official courier to each of them in the preceding weeks had been met by everything from incredulous laughter to expressions of suspicion. Every soul knew what this place was, whose house this had once been, and what had supposedly taken place here. None of the men looked carefully into the shadows that played across the aging walls, darkening the corners of the vast, high-ceilinged room. Even though this house had fallen into disuse a generation ago, and was now more museum than functioning dacha, the meeting's address had meaning.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?